We are on.
Okay. Welcome everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 6th. We are 2023. We are here for our regular Board of Trustees meeting. Ms. Kraft, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Mrs. Faust?
Here.
Ms. Knapp? Here. Mr. Ringle?
Here.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Do we have any public comment today? Come on up.
A few updates. Jen Keggy with the Delaware Public Health District. Just wanted to let you know we are almost fully staffed. We just completely staffed our preventative health division, so all of our nurses, director of nursing. So we're ramping up a lot of those services. We opened officially to the public Tuesday, so working out some kinks, trying to figure out the flow of everything. But feel free to come by if you have any services or need anything. Our preventative health division is offering CPR training, stop the bleed training, and I'm thinking about maybe even with some of your maintenance workers, if there was an incident while they're out in the field, that might be a good training for them to have. So those are available if you need that. We will be running a levy in November, so we'll have a little bit more information next month for you about that. And that's about it. Do you have any questions?
Is the training stuff that's scheduled, or do they come and schedule it with you?
They can schedule it with you whenever you want to schedule it. They can come out and do it. Yeah.
And can you remind us of the address of your new facility?
The address is 470 South Sandusky Street.
Is your levy a renewal or an additional?
It's a renewal. It's a 0.7, so it's the same levy we've had for 30 some years, way before me. Yeah, so it won't be, and none of the funding from the levy can go towards the building. The funding that we used for this building was just from collecting fees, and throughout the years they had saved up a lot of that money to be able to put towards the building. And then, I think we also had to take out a little bit of a loan, but all of the levy dollars go towards all of our programming and other services for the community.
Great.
All right.
Thanks so much for coming, Jen. Anybody else?
Just a brief comment. And number one, I'm glad you guys have the meetings online.
You want to state your name and address?
Bill Weeble, 1505 Plumway. But so I've been down for the count for a month or so, and also dealing with an ankle and stuff. But I'm very appreciative that all the meetings are online and how efficient everybody's going. Did have a question because it hasn't reemerged on any of the agendas or in any of the meetings. And the last meeting I was at, we were forwarding the paperwork on the additional fire levy. And I'm just asking, is that still set to be on the November ballot? And there was no mention of it in the September, or the little newsletter that went out. At what point are we going to roll that out to the general public?
So yes, it is on the levy and on the ballot. Sorry. I believe that there's a committee within the fire department that is starting to ramp things up here this week. So based on the guidance they were given, they were saying after Labor Day is the time to really start hitting the streets and that kind of stuff. So they've asked for some information from us as a township here this week, which we're in the process of getting to them. And so we should start hearing things here recently, or in the near future here.
Yeah, I had several people ask me, and I'm like, well, I will ask that question on Wednesday.
Thank you for asking.
And that was pretty much it. I appreciate everything that's going on so far.
We missed you. Thanks for coming back.
Yep, and Dad's out driving his little car right now, so he That's why he's not.
Awesome.
It's like,
In his happy place.
it's so hot he had to put the top up on the little car and turn on the air conditioning.
Tomorrow it'll be better, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill. Any other public comment?
Jim Srigliano, 8480 Stonewoods. I just wondered if there has been any discussion at all regarding the speed limit on Route 23 between Lewis Center Road and basically the Columbus city limit. Because we've had several fatal accidents, mostly due to trucks being unable to stop in time because they weigh so much more than a car. I actually witnessed a truck use the left turn lane and went through the light because he couldn't stop. And if he hadn't done that, he would have creamed the guy in front of him. So, has there been any
So
discussion?
23 is a Ohio Department of Transportation road, like a state
So it's OD,
wide. Yeah, it's ODOT. So it's not something that is even countywide, right, Silas? So it's ODOT.
So the township can't do any influential discussions?
We can make calls.
That would be awesome to get something going, and then maybe I can get some citizens to go down to ODNR. Crab at.
Make our voices known.
Okay, thank you. Now I have a question on one of the zoning things. Do I hold that till then?
The zoning report is just simply presenting when those applications are going to be heard. So if you have a question now, I think it's worthwhile
Okay.
asking.
I'm looking at the Route 23 application, RCOD 2301.
The 79 Parkway one.
Yes.
So my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, that is still tabled, right? Is there any additional information?
It is. I will have an update on that shortly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. My question was, what type of traffic control will be put there? Because turning left on 23 without a light is like taking your life in your hands. So that was my question.
Yeah. We'll see what Mr. Duffy has to tell us in his report.
Yeah, they probably won't allow left turn there, ODOT, right?
That is to be determined.
Yeah, if they put a light there, then you got three
Like
lights in
lots
a
of
row.
lights.
It's too close.
It'll probably be right in, right out, I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, that's my complaint.
Thank you, Jim. Okay. Are there any agenda changes?
Did you have any general announcements? I'm sorry. Is that the first? Is that?
You did. So the township, just so all of our electeds are aware of this, Orland Tangi Orange High School is having a homecoming community parade and pep rally on, what's the date, Michelle? October?
It's Wednesday, October 11th.
In the evening. And they have asked if anybody from the township would be able to be interested in either being in the parade or having a booth at the thing. So I didn't know if anybody wanted to do. I wasn't necessarily interested in the township doing a float in the parade because we know how much work it was to put ours together for the 4th of July parade. But I was thinking that we could do a table, and it would be after hours. So I was wondering if it was something that if anybody's free, who don't cost overtime, would be interested in doing.
I'm interested, but I'll be out of town, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
October 11th.
So, and I will be able to be there if we want to put together a table. So, okay. So yeah,
What about being in the parade? They want us to do this?
they could. I mean, we can. Yeah, if somebody wants to. I was not going to do the parade. I was going to walk the booth.
And I can send you information on
Yeah.
it.
We don't even have times yet. We just have date at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can get more information. We'll block it out on our calendars. And Olentangy High School, if you're ever interested in us helping, we will also partner with you, but we just haven't been asked. We love you also. Okay, that was all I got.
We do have another agenda change. You want me to hit it?
Oh,
Yeah,
did anyone else have any general announcements?
No.
I don't have any. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we do have an agenda change. It's adding a resolution to advance money to the Veterans Memorial Fund. And I can explain it more when we get to it, but it's basically a resolution to advance from the general fund to the Veterans Memorial Grant Fund.
So that'll be under fiscal report.
That'll be under fiscal.
And then I had a correction under, on the administration report, under the obsolete items, we had, the amount of Fire Kings was wrong. So we've corrected that in the template, but we have, let me think, 25, items that we want to go obsolete. There was more in the previous template, so that's corrected in the template.
Okay.
That's all I have for agenda changes.
Did we have any questions on the meeting minutes or the consent items?
I have none.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-234, approving the electronic record of the proceedings from the regular trustee meeting on August 16th, 2023, and Resolution 23-235, approving purchase orders, then and now purchase orders, and blanket purchase orders as listed.
Second?
Mr. Ringgold?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp? Mrs. Faust?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Duffy, zoning report.
Good afternoon, trustees. We do have a few items on the zoning hearings and meetings report. We have 2 zoning meetings next week. The first meeting is with our zoning commission, Tuesday, September 12th at 6:30 p.m. For rezoning application ZON-23-03, which is a proposed rezoning to rezone 11.684 acres on East Orange Road from farm residential to single-family planned residential for a 23 single-family home subdivision. And then on Thursday, September 14th at 6 p.m., we have our Board of Zoning Appeals. There are 3 items on that agenda. The first is various setback variances as well as a parking reduction variance for a proposed daycare on East Orange Road that is located essentially at the corner of Orange Road and US 23, as well as 2 odd lots in Evans Farm, one on Linden Street and one on Maple Drive, that do not front on a public roadway, so that is to make those lots and future buildings compliant. Those are the meetings next week. As for our 2 tabled applications, so regarding the Route 23 application, the RCOD-23-01, I did recently meet with the property owner. They have retooled their development team. I think they are interested still in moving forward. But at this point, since it has been on the table for 6 months now with no action, we are recommending that they essentially start the process over. So we will be essentially polling their application. This will be the last time it will be on the zoning report until they reapply, which I would expect sometime in the next 2 to 3 months when they have time to get their materials together.
And would they still apply under the RCOD?
Yes, that is the plan. Regarding traffic impact from that development, the traffic is any traffic improvements are really, it's decided once the uses are in place, once the number of traffic counts from that proposed development is determined. At this point, we still don't have any uses for that property other than general commercial, so those improvements are to be determined.
Would they have the uses before they give it back to us?
Most likely, but not necessarily.
So would they be able to do a traffic study before it comes to us?
They do. It's a traffic memo as opposed to a traffic study.
Wouldn't they be able to say, like, it will be retail or restaurant?
Yeah, generally, yes. Yeah.
So I think we would definitely have more information than what we have today.
Okay.
And then the final item on the zoning meetings and hearings report is the still tabled application for the Board of Zoning Appeals for a proposed place of worship on Vale Kenyon Road. Still no updates on that one. Are there any questions on any of those agenda items?
Where's the 23, that new 23 house subdivision on Orange Road? Where's that at? What part of Orange?
It's essentially directly across from Orange Middle School.
I think it's the high school. It's the right in, right out at the high school. Yeah.
The Baxter, there's a lot of chatter on this one. I think you're going to have that well attended.
Yeah.
That is what I expect.
Yeah.
I have received lots of phone calls and emails from neighbors.
Was that in the land use plan for single family?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
And how many units per acre are they proposing?
1.98.
And then the daycare that we talked about, is that just south of the DD building?
Correct.
The Developmental Disabilities Building on 23 and Orange? Right, besides weeds. Right.
All right, if there's no more questions on the hearings and meetings report, we do have one resolution before you this afternoon to appoint our senior zoning officer. After interviewing, we had 3 candidates that we interviewed, 7 total applicants for this position. We have chosen Eric Gajewski as our new senior zoning officer pending board approval. He previously worked for Liberty Township and has a master's in city and regional planning. We're excited to welcome him to the Orange team.
We're excited. And he's not, just to be clear, he's not coming directly from Liberty.
That is correct.
Okay. We are excited to have him. For good things. Okay, do we have any zoning questions?
No.
Okay. I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-236, appointment of Eric Gajewski to full-time position of Senior Zoning Officer and establishment of compensation.
Second.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Okay. Operations? Nothing. Okay. Fire? Nothing. Mrs. Kraft, fiscal.
Yes, I have quite a few today.
You do?
Okay, the first one is updating ACH vendors. For the Founders Fest, it was requested that we have an on-demand, credit card reader. So after researching, we decided and testing, we are adding Square as an ACH vendor, and we purchased the Square readers for the day of event. It'll work off a cell phone. And should sell, I think it's for the candy apple sales. So
Caramel apples.
Caramel apples, thank you. Caramel apple sales. So that's what the that first resolution is, just to update the vendor list with adding Square. The second is our annual accepting of the 2024 Certificate of Estimated Resources. So that was attached in your backup. That is required, just as a reminder, as part of the process with the county every year. I submitted this back in July. The board met in the county level in August and forwarded or approved our starting Certificate of Estimated Resources. So that kind of starts our process for the next budget year. So just accepting that, you guys legally have to accept that, and I have to send a copy back to the auditor's office. The next resolution is all these TIFs and JEDs are all requiring their own funds. So now that we have the Creekside TIF that you guys approved, I think, at the last meeting, we had received $27,698.18 from the county for that TIF, and we put it into general until we got the fund approved. And now that the fund is approved, we need to move it from general to the TIF fund. So that's what that resolution is for. I'm hogging the meeting today. And last but not least, the Veterans Memorial. Now that we've officially broken ground, and we have the contract in place with Stronghold, we went to set up the PO, which you guys have approved. It's the appropriations and all that have already been approved, but we can't do anything until we actually have money in that account. The way the state funding is going to work on that is, let's say we spend $300,000. They will give us $200,000. We have to provide $100,000. So it's a 2/3 to 1/3 ratio there. So what we thought would be best to do is, if we advance all $400,000 of it in, then once we start paying some of these bills with Stronghold, then we can start invoicing the state of Ohio. When we get that money back, then we can advance it back to the general fund. So doing it as an advance allows us to take the money back into general fund. Just as a clarification, because you might hear, the last one was a transfer. When you transfer, you do not have the right to move that out of the fund. So
will it come to us every time money goes back, or is that something we need to take care of as we move it back out after?
You guys will have to approve all
each
advances.
time.
Yeah, I can't just advance money back and forth between funds. You guys will have to approve all that.
Okay.
So as that money starts to come in, as we start to pay the money out, we'll invoice the state will pay us, we'll deposit it into the Veterans Fund, and then we'll advance it back out to the general fund via resolution. Okay? So,
And then the audit.
oh yeah, audit update. I forgot about that. We'll file one now. So the audit is officially complete. I think I can remember by heart here. So the audit was finalized. I got an email from the Auditor of State last week saying they did a desk review of our audit and it has been finalized. So in this audit, we had no material findings or weaknesses, so that was great. The finding that we had the previous audit from 2020 was corrected. So that one's closed out now. So, and then as far as there's this STARS thing, which is like sunshine laws kind of stuff that talks about how you deal with public record requests. And we got all in compliance and implementing best practices.
We did.
So yeah, so that was all good. So as soon as I still have, my copy still has the draft watermark on it from the auditor. So I need Julian and Group to send me the one without the draft watermark. And once we have it, I'll get it out on the website with Sydney.
Thank you for all you did to
No problem. Good
clean
job
things
from
up
Todd
here and
Leanne,
make it,
too.
yeah, for your whole
And
team.
all the teams
Yep.
for promptly getting us checks when they come in and invoices and all that stuff. So
Thanks, everybody.
thank you. Thanks for the
Okay.
reminder, Michelle.
And just to reiterate, the ACH vendor change with adding squares for the Founders Festival that I probably should have talked about that in announcements, that September 30th, one of the things that we're having there is a caramel apple booth, and families can purchase caramel apples. So they are $4 per apple that you can do that. And so we needed to get the square to do that. So we're excited about that. Other things at that event are bounce houses, lots of vendors. I think we said we had 31, I think, at our meeting today. Different vendors. Some of them are governmental agencies. Some of them are, showing what they do, and some are people selling crafts. And Mrs. Kremnitzer is selling something, I believe. So lots of fun things: bounce houses, food trucks, vendors. Fun afternoon for the community. Okay. Any other fiscal things? Okay. I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-237, updating vendors approved for electronic funds transfer.
Mr. Ringel,
Yes.
Ms. Knapp, Mrs. Faust.
Yes. I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-238, accepting and approving the 2024 Certificate of Estimated Resources.
Second?
Mr. Ringel,
Yes.
Ms. Knapp, Mrs. Faust.
Yes. I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-239, authorizing the fiscal officer to transfer $27,698.18 from the general fund to the Creekside TIP Fund.
Mr. Ringel,
Yes.
Ms. Knapp, Mrs. Faust.
Yes. And make a motion to approve Resolution 23-240, authorizing the fiscal officer to advance $400,000 from the general fund to the Veterans Memorial Grant Fund for construction of the Veterans Memorial Project.
Mr. Ringel,
Yes.
Ms. Knapp, Mrs. Faust.
Yes. Okay. Ms. Bonnie, our administration report.
I have just two small items on the agenda today. The first is in regards to event giveaways. So what we would like to do, just moving forward, having the option if we're doing some type of contest or like we're doing a scavenger hunt of some sorts at the Founders Day Festival, we wanted to give away, I believe it's daily passes. I can't remember. Was it 4?
4. Yep.
4. 4 daily pool passes. And so I have a very long blanket consent item that was clearly written by our legal counsel to just have this as an option for future events moving forward. We just thought it was a nice way to, to give away something that we think our residents would like. So. But it was specifically for the Founders Festival. That's why this was created, but I think we can do it for, the contest that we have with the holiday season and anything else. So I can read off the consent item for everybody's sake, and if I can get some yays or nays on that, that would be great. Okay, here we go. So I'm asking the board's consent for the board to give consensus to authorize the township administrator to issue daily pool passes for the 2024 pool season to winners of events that are subject to a prize. These passes allow you entry to the pool by use of this pass. Orange Township and the Orange Township Board of Trustees in no way warrant against any accident, damage, injury, bodily injury, sickness, disease, illness, death, or occurrence, regardless of type or nature, negligent or accidental, actual or threatened, intentional or unintentional, known or unknown, realized or unrealized, related in any manner to your use of the swimming pool or related facilities in the same do not waive their rights to immunity and or recreational immunity. And I apologize for those that are listening, but that is just the legal language that we have to include to give day passes as gifts.
I guess where you got that.
Right. It's very complete. Thank you.
That's good.
Do I have everybody's consent?
Yes.
Thank you.
Michelle, how many of those do you think we'll be giving away?
So we're just gonna do. It's my understanding there'll be one winner at the scavenger or at the Founders Festival, and that winner would receive 4-day passes.
So we've got the scavenger hunt she's referring to is with in the vendor area of the Founders Festival at the government or nonprofit groups. We're giving each one that wants to participate a question, something like, when was Orange Township founded? Or how many schools are in Orange Township? Or who donated this building right here? Who's the family that did that kind of stuff? So the families or children or whoever wants to participate comes to our info booth, gets a little card, and then they walk around to the different stations. The people at the table ask the question, the participant guesses the answer, then they tell them the right answer if they were incorrect, and you get a stamp either way. If you complete the whole thing, you bring it back, and we do a drawing.
Do they have to be residents?
They do not have to be residents, no.
To get the pool passes?
We didn't want to clarify that, because we didn't want to exclude anybody from participating.
And I think we bought this going for $7.
Oh.
It wasn't in it.
Oh, I didn't.
We didn't put like
Okay, that's good to know.
more into it.
In 1998, is that the correct date? Okay.
It'd be more expensive.
It's a lovely property.
It is.
Yes, we're lucky to have it. Okay.
The last item under for the rest of the agenda really is just obsolete items. So part of our record scanning initiative, as we've been making our files electronic and we updated our retention schedule, we have now started verifying such records to make sure they were properly scanned. So now we can start removing many Fire Kings that we have in the office. So we would like to put those up for sale on Gov Deals. They are expensive. I mean, they're a pain to haul, but we think we can get some money out of them. So that's what's in front of you today.
And they're typically 4-drawer filing cabinets, right?
Yes.
They're fireproof, you said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're nice.
They're heavy.
So if you need any filing cabinets, we have some.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions on administration report?
Sorry, I just have one last thing. I just wanted to thank the leadership team and the board. I had a very smooth transition getting back here, and I think it just shows that we have a lot of great people here who continue to move things on, even with my absence, and had an excellent acting administrator to help with that. So just wanted to say thanks.
Oh, you're talking about during your 2-week vacation, right?
Yes,
Okay.
my 2-week vacation. Yes, to reiterate, it was during my 2-week vacation.
Of the 365 days that you're on the clock.
We're glad you had a vacation. We're glad thank you to everybody here for holding things together, and thanks, Mike, for stepping up and leading us. We're glad you're back. Thanks. Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution 23-241, finding certain personal property not needed for public use, obsolete, or unfit for the use for which it was acquired to have no value, and ordering it to be auctioned on Gov Deals Inc., be discarded or salvaged.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Any new business?
I have none.
Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution 23-242, meeting adjourned.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.